Let me take a picture of this, and we'll do it. This is number 15. Okay, so happy Friday, you guys. Fridays just aren't near as exciting when you're stuck at home like this, but oh well. Okay, so we have this thing. Basically, I'm going to say, let me write on it. I'm going to just say equals y. So I'm going to say 2 to the y equals 37. I'm going from log form, log base 2 of 37 equaling y, to exponential form. So the argument, so basically what we have to do, we don't, the 2 to nothing is going to give us 37. But we know 2 to the 4th, that gives us 16. 2 to the 5th, what's 2 to the 5th give us? That gives us 32. So that doesn't help. So I need to do, this one's not going to help me. I need to do 2 to the 5th and 2 to the 6th. And I'm trying to find these that like are on either side of the 37. So right in here, 37's in between them. So I'm going to say 2 to the 5th and 2 to the 6th. And the argument, I don't know why they call it an argument, is that number 37. 37 is somewhere between 32 and 64. So 5 is less than the answer to this, is less than the answer to 6. So we're going to say log of 37, this is change of base, over log of 2 equals the ln of 37 over the ln of 2. You don't have to do both of those. We're just trying to show you right there that you can use either one and it's okay. And if I put this in my calculator, I get looks like 5.21. And what's the 3 decimal places? So 5.209 would be my answer there. Questions for me? While I'm thinking about it, we're still just trying to get this stuff figured out. I'm doing calculus and physics on Discord, and that's an awesome way just to talk to people outside of class. If you have a Discord account or you want to be part of my Discord channel, I will put my Discord address out there on Google Classroom. Another thing I've tried, and I don't know how it's going to work, is Google Hangouts down here. And maybe I should do it from over here. Not Google Hangouts, Google something. So much Google crap. Maybe it's Google Hangouts. Yeah, Google Hangouts. And what I did, I sent you all something earlier today about the calculator. I sent you this. You can get, if you go to this, you can actually get the TI-84 you see on my screen. Mine's right here right now. It looks a little different, but it's still basically the same thing for 6 months for free. And so go on and get that because that's going to help you out a whole lot in class. And if you need me, you can message me here. I don't know if any of the other teachers are doing it, but you can message me here. Okay, so as I think of things like that, I'm probably going to be jumping back and forth a little bit. So any other ones from my open math that you all want to do? Crickets? Nothing? Nobody? Okay, I guess we'll roll on then. I'm surprised. So we're going to start with 7.2 today. 7.2 is properties of logarithms. So some of you all probably have the notes already. If you don't, the notes are on Google Classroom if you want them there. I'm actually pulling them up right now so I can take a look at a couple things on them. If you're looking at this, it says 2 exponential expressions can be multiplied if their bases are the same. So like if I have a cubed times a to the 4th, the only way I can do that is if they're the same. But if they're the same, I'm actually going to add up my exponents. We've already done this. Now, the same thing happens if I have a to the I don't know, sixth divided by a to the seventh. That's the same thing. Remember that big minus sign? 6 minus 7. So I think they were just wanting you to remember that, because we're going to kind of be using some of that same type of stuff with this. I'm sorry, I'm having hard trouble with my Chromebook over here today. So we can do the same things on our calculators. Maybe I can. My computer's acting really weird, but don't worry, I'll get it fixed. Okay, so basically what you want to know here, exponents are added, exponents are subtracted. So we can kind of do the same rules with logs. So I'm going to come up here and just start doing a couple of examples. So what I have here, if I made this log base 3, and I made the 9 3 squared, because 3 squared is 9, when these two numbers match each other, the exponent is your answer. That's like your y. So if I have log base 3 of 1, 1's to the first power, so my answer would be 3. So all I'm doing, I have to get my base and I have to get my argument to be the same. My base and my argument. And then whatever the power is, that's your answer. If I'm looking at this, I would make it log base 3 of 3 cubed. Again, my base and my argument's the same, so my answer is just 3. And if you'll notice right here, that plus sign in there, I've got log base 3 of 9 plus log base 3 of 3. I can come in here and I can say 9 times 3. And I would get log base 3 of 27, which I got right here. So these two are equivalent to each other. Same thing works over here. I could make it, I'm going to kind of do it the way I like to do it first. I think this is easier. They have the same bases. Minus sign means division. It gives me log base 2 of 8. And look, that's the same thing as right there. So then I can have log base 2. I want my base and my argument to be the same. 2 cubed is 8. So my answer right here is 3. If I did these two separately, 32 is like 2 to the 5th. Of course, 4 is just 2 squared. 5 minus 2 is 3. I generally like to put them together, kind of like what I did right here, and then figure out what it is versus doing it this way. Either way will work, but it's just kind of personal preference of how you want to do it. But these are just the same, like the same type of formulas. This 8 is 2 cubed. This 4 is 2 squared. Log base 2 of 2 to the third. Log base 2 of 2 squared. 3 minus 2. Oh, I'm sorry, it's 3 plus 2. It's 5. If I come down here, log base 2 of 2. 2 to the 5th power is 32. They cancel each other out. And my answer is 5 that way. You guys try this one. I'm going to give you 2 minutes. Two minutes is a long time. I'm hoping, I'm going to do this one first because it's easier. Log base 3 of 3 squared, my answer is 2. This one, is 3 to the 4th. This one is 3 squared. We're subtracting them. 4 minus 2 is also 2. So that's how you're going to have to do some of these. All the ones we've done so far, it's quicker just to do them by hand than have to use change the base or anything like that on them. But then you get to the ones, these last two. And these last two have some issues. Remember I told you yesterday that ln is just log base e of 3. Well, there's no way to make these two match. I mean, these two matched. Those two matched. They matched. They matched. But there's no way I can make an E and a 3 or an E and a 2 match. So I'm going to have to go to my calculator. On my calculator, I really don't like how this looks. They tried to get fancier. Let's hide the large display. I don't know what I'm doing. I mean, it's a TI-84 plus. Okay, so let's clear this out. Maybe this is just maybe they make the screen bigger over here, which is probably gonna be good for school. Let's hit set and quit. Yeah, that's it. This is my bigger screen. So this would actually be kind of nice. So what we're gonna have to do here, our problem is the ln of 3 plus the ln of 2. So I'm gonna say the ln of 3, make sure you shut that parentheses, plus the ln of 2. And I get 1.792. Always give me 3 past the decimal. And what you'll notice, if I go to my calculator and I put this guy in, and I just say the ln of 6, I get the same answer, 1.792. Because what's happening here, the ln and log land plus means multiply. So I can what's called condense this down and get that. Like over here, I can condense this down in log land, that minus is a division symbol, and get the ln of 4. But these right here, I'm not going to be able to use my, like the rules I did up here. I'm just going to have to slap it in the calculator and just say that the ln of 4, oops, that's not good. And just get the answer, 1.386. Okay, ask me questions. There's a whole 17 of y'all in here. Who else in here? Camden, Conrad, Devin.
So for n, do you multiply with like n3 plus n2? That's multiplying to get n6.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's natural log plus and plus signs in log land. Plus means you multiply. Like up here, 8 times 4 is 32. Minus in log land, you divide. 12 divided by 3 is 4. Just like up here, 81 divided by 9 is 9. Okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anything else on this one? So I'm going to give you a couple rules. You're going to want to write these rules down because you're going to use them. And I'm not going to bother with all this other stuff in here. I'm not going to write it in words what it says. Basically, here are your 2 rules. If you have the same base, they have to be the same base. If it's not the same base, you can't do it. And it's adding, you're going to multiply the arguments. Same way down here. ln, I'm just going to say A times B. If it's subtracting, it's log base B. The first one, division symbol. The second one. Same way here. The first one, then you see the division symbol, and then the second one. So whatever comes after the minus has to go in the denominator. Okay? Now, I'm not going to I'm not going to write it out in words what they mean, but you have to know this. In logland, plus is multiplication, minus is division. And it can go either way. We can take two pieces and make them one, or we can take one piece and separate them back out. If we put them together and make them one, that's called condensing. If we spread them out into individual pieces, that's called expanding. And we're going to get to that. So make sure you have both those written down. I'm moving unless someone hollers at me. Okay. Now on these, basically, I don't really know what good these do for you. I guess let's do this just so we can see a couple of them. I guess I kind of see a little bit of value to it. If I'm looking at the first one, now this is the same thing. I'm going to rewrite it. My calculator's going to go away. This is the same thing as log base 2 of 25. So to put it in my calculator, I'm going to say log of 25 divided by log of 2. I'm going to use this button right here, log of 25. I got to use that change of base thing, divided by log of 2. And if I do that, I get that 4.644. Now I'm going to put this in. 2 times. Let's put it in a fraction. 2 times log of 5 over log of 2. And what they're wanting you to notice, these two numbers match. When the 2's up there, with the power of log, what the power of log does, it can take anything that's up in the power and it can bring it to the front. So check out all these. This 1/2, the only difference between these two is the 1/2 is brought to the front. The only difference between these two is the 2 is brought to the front. So that's really the biggest power of logs and natural logs, is they can take whatever's up in the exponent and bring it to the front. And we use that a whole lot in college algebra, a whole lot in calculus. And I know Miss Fackler Medley, I always want to call her Miss Fackler, Miss Medley says in Algebra 3 that they see it there too. So it's something that you're going to see again going on from here. So I'm going to give you these two rules too. All these mean is if there's something up in the power, it can just come to the front. And that's a B. It's a horrible B. And this one is just going to come to the front. So these are two more rules you need to know. And I found this thing down here is like a cheat sheet, all-in-one cheat sheet. I found this online, and I went ahead and put it here for you. Multiplying in logland, addition, dividing in logland, subtraction, power up top, you can bring it to the front. And all of these are just the same thing with the natural log. Okay, so those are really our rules. And what we're going to do with our rules, or we are going to do a few examples with you. And I'm not going to get done with 7.2 today. I'll probably talk about another 10 minutes because I don't really want to keep you on here as long as we would be at school. So let's jump over here and do a few problems. Now, what we're doing right here, we write each expression as a rational number or a single logarithm of the same base. So you're either just going to come up with a number answer, or you're just going to have one log term. And this is called condensing. So when we condense, what we're going to do here, as long as they have the same basis and there's a plus sign, we're just going to say log base 2 of 6 times 8 over 3. That's going to be log base 2 of 16. And if you can, you need to try to get the argument and the base, these two guys, to match. 2 to the 4th power gives you 16. So 2 to the 4th is 16. If those two match, your answer is just the exponent. So take a look at that.
Where the 8 over 3 is that a subtract sign or a negative?
Right here, that's a multiplying because it's an addition up there. I'm multiplying those two together. And then I said 3 goes into itself once, 3 goes into 6 2 times. So 2 times 8 is 16. Other questions for me on that one? Now, if there's not, and I can't see you all, okay? So I can't tell.
How did you get 4 out of? How did you get it to equal 4?
How'd I get what?
How did you get it to equal 4?
What you have to do, and I'm going to have to erase this, but if your base is the same thing as your argument, is the same thing as like the big number right here, the 6 or the 8/3, then whatever the power is up here, I'm just going to call it A. If these two match, it's almost like they reduce each other down, like they cancel each other out. Your answer just ends up being the exponent. So my 4 was up in the exponent. Because those two matched, all that goes away, and I'm just left with a number up top. Okay? So take a look. Look at 1 versus 2. I want you to notice right away there's numbers on the front. So when there's numbers on the front, the first thing you have to do is you have to take those and put them back up in the exponent. You can't do anything else until you get those numbers that are on the front back inside the log. So that's your first step. Over here, I didn't have to worry about it. There wasn't anything on the front. Now in log land, minus means division. So if we're going to condense this down, we just want one log term. We have an x to the 1/3 on top. We have our division symbol in here over y squared. And we're done. Can't do anything else to that one. So if you kind of want to make like yourself a cheat sheet, the first thing you want to do is put, I'm going to call them front numbers. Technically, they're called coefficients. Put front numbers back up into exponent spot. And then you look at, I'm going to call it operator. And what I mean by that, let's not call it that, that's stupid. You look, let's say you look for the plus or minus. And that tells you, are you going to multiply them if it's a plus, or are you going to divide them if it's a minus? Those are kind of the 2 steps you do with these problems. And you want them to either end up with a number where the log is all the way gone, or just one log and everything bunched up together with it. Now, some of these, do you have a question? Notice this had 2 parts, this had 2 parts, this has 3 parts. So you're going to go like this way, just like you read, and you're going to look at it. Plus means multiplication. So I'm going to have the ln of x plus 2 times x. Now, they're both ln. I've got a minus sign. So in my numerator, I'm going to have x plus 2 times x divided by x cubed and then I can reduce this down. If I have 1 x up here, I'm going to get rid of one of these x's, and my final answer ends up being the ln of x plus 2 over x squared. And I'm done with that one. So if you notice, I didn't multiply those together. I just kind of left it to see if something would make it go away, and it did. Okay, I'm going to do 2 more. on this one, I've got a number up front, so I'm going to cross it out and I'm going to put it up top. There's no more numbers up front, so I'm going to say all my logs are log base 3. So I'm going to say log base 3. The x plus the 3 squared, they get multiplied together. 3 squared is 9 minus the log base 3 of y. And there's my answer for number 4.
How'd you do the 9x?
What I did, because it was a plus symbol right there, I knew I had to take this argument and this argument. They get multiplied together because in logland, adding means multiplying, which I'm so stupid when I say it out loud. And 3 squared is just 9. So now it's 9 because of that plus symbol times x divided by the y. You all try 5. I'll give you a minute there to try 5. Do y'all need some more time or can I talk about it? Okay, I'm going to talk. Talking's my favorite. First thing you're going to do is you're going to put the numbers up top. So this 3 is going to make that an x cubed. This 2 is going to make that an x squared. And this 1/2 is going to make this x to the 1/2 power. Notice I don't take the negative or the positive in front of it. I'm just moving the numbers. So now I have log x cubed plus log x squared minus log x to the 1/2. I just put the numbers up top. Now, in logland, plus means multiply, minus means divide, and then same bases, add your powers. I can only add them because they're getting multiplied. Now, same bases, because we're dividing. Remember I told you that's like a great big minus sign? It's going to be 5 minus 1/2. You can put 4.5. You can just say 9 over 2 if you want to. Same thing as 4.5. And that's your answer for number 5. I want you guys to try 6 and 7 on your own. And then Monday, I'll just put those answers up real quick. And if you have questions about them, I'll answer them. But I don't really plan on talking a whole lot more about 6 or 7, just otherwise to give you the answers on them. Again, I need you guys, I'm done with the pre-calculus. I want to talk a little bit more about what's going on. Again, Google Hangouts is there. You really ought to get that calculator. Over here in class, there was my Zoom meeting. This will be up there every weekday. Here is my video. I did start putting them on YouTube because Google Classroom's kind of freaking out right now because so many people are using it. So you can watch it on your phone or on a laptop. I don't think you can watch it on the Chromebook. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. So it's kind of hit or miss with that. But it was just better there because at least you can see it. The other way, it wasn't loading for you. Here's the PDF like you're used to having. Classwork. Oh, there's nothing in here. My Open Math. I'm going to go ahead and get 7.2 open. But realize 7.2, let's take a look at it real quick. You're not going to be able to do all of it. I mean, we haven't gotten all the way done. But if I'm looking at it, number 1 is just typing problems with my Open Math. Make sure you read these real closely because you have to type it in a certain way on my Open Math or it'll lose its mind on you. So number 1 is real important. Number 2, 3, really, to 7. You should be able to do 1 to 7 on my open math right now. So I'm going to come over here and put that on here. So I want you guys, and again, this is just your NTI work, okay? So this is 7.2. I want you all to do 1 through 7. I want you all to have those done by Monday. Okay, then the rest of it we'll talk about on Monday and you can finish it out. Okay? Bless you.
I'm kind of confused about how in number 5 you got log x 9 halves. I'm confused about that.
All I did, thank you for asking. All I did was I made this 10 over 2 and got a common denominator. 10 minus 1 is 9.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Other questions for me? Okay, this will be saved. Nobody has anything else for me. We can be done. Hope y'all have a good weekend. Bye. Yes, what? Yeah.
Can we present them 4 problems that I need help with?
What now?
Can we talk separately about the problems that
Yeah.
I need?
Let me get this. I don't want us to keep videoing me talking. I hope I have a video somewhere. Oh, there it is. Okay. Let me stop sharing.